So I believe Spotify is trying to destroy the podcasting ecosystem as it is right now for monetary gain. To understand why I think this is, we must first take a look at the way podcasts are traditionally delivered through a technology called RSS. RSS works in much the same way email does, in that RSS is universal and open. Whether you're using Gmail, Yahoo Mail, Outlook, or even hosting your own email server, you can email anyone with an email address and receive emails from other people regardless of what email platform you're using. With podcasts, it also doesn't matter what podcast consumption app you're using. Podcasts can be imported as long as you have the RSS link for the podcast. This also lets you do some other nifty things like download the podcast episodes yourself and see extra information about each podcast episode in the feed, like the date of creation. Spotify does not let users import their own podcast through RSS and only allows users to listen to podcasts found on their own platform. This move alone is the beginning of something in the technology industry known as the walled garden. If someone only knows how or only chooses to listen to podcasts through Spotify, they'll miss out on any podcast not available in the app, whereas with almost any other major podcast app, they could just import any podcast they want to listen to regardless of what Spotify thinks of it. The same walled garden argument could be applied to Apple Podcasts, with Apple only approving podcasts meeting their guidelines for search in the podcast app. However, Apple still allows podcast fans to import podcasts through RSS in the podcast app on iOS and iTunes, so the podcast app serves as more of a directory for podcasts, with the added ability of being able to import other podcasts. Spotify not allowing podcast importing through RSS should be reason alone to cause outrage within the podcasting community, but there's something much worse that Spotify is also doing that could severely damage the way people consume podcasts, original podcasts. Spotify original podcasts have existed for a few months now, and Spotify has been making a great effort advertising these podcasts, with the podcast tab appearing as one of the first on Spotify's browse page. These podcasts are unavailable through an official RSS feed, and as such are only legally available through their own app. With Spotify limiting user freedom in how their own podcasts are consumed, they are setting a dangerous precedent in how other podcasts are released. Who's to say if Spotify's original podcasts are successful, that Apple or another major podcasting platform won't create their own podcasts? What if a Spotify original podcast becomes so popular that Spotify begins making people pay for the podcast episodes individually, or pay for a separate Spotify podcast premium? A Spotify original podcast becoming very popular isn't something impossible. Spotify is the second biggest podcast platform, and in Spotify's eyes, it's only a matter of time before one of their podcasts becomes a hit. Different media like TV, music, and movies have been in my eyes ruined to an extent because of their exclusivity deals with certain retailers. Some podcasts, as they are now, free and open, are amazing experiences without a large corporate backing or exclusivity deal behind them, and I think that these podcasts should be celebrated. We should not have to bow down to Spotify or any other company that wants to tell us how to consume podcasts, and this is the main reason why I refuse to listen to podcasts through the app. We need to stop Spotify's greed from destroying the podcast ecosystem before it's too late. If you're a podcaster who is thinking about submitting your podcast to Spotify, I strongly encourage you not to, or else you're giving Spotify just a little more leverage to use against podcast listeners if Spotify decides to close down further on their walled garden. I know it may be a little too much to ask, with Spotify having such a large audience, but I think this is a sacrifice that deserves to be made as a move against Spotify's anti-consumer podcasting practices. If you're just an ordinary person, just don't use Spotify for podcasts. I recommend Overcast for podcast. It's pretty good at downloading episodes in just the right order I want, and it lets you import podcasts through RSS, unlike Spotify. Apple Podcasts also works pretty well as a podcasting app, with the added benefit of it being ingrained into iOS and Siri. If you know someone who uses Spotify for podcasts, just recommend them another app to use. If we all agree to not use Spotify podcasts, Spotify's walled garden will crumble, with them realizing that a podcasting platform that tries to take freedom away from the end user is simply one that people don't want. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to support my channel and share this video to get the message out.